right from wrong, and that love can conquer all. We who rock those cradles, I said, we who carry the world. Oh, hey girl, this is our time. Oh, what time is it? This is our time. Oh, woman, this is our time. It is our time. Oh, woman, this is our time.
So Matthew chapter 5, I'll be reading from verse 3 to 9. It's part of the Beatitudes. It says, blessed are the pure in spirit, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Let us pray. God, our Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this wonderful day. We thank you for your presence. We pray, Lord Jesus, as this program goes on, that Lord, no problem will happen, no disturbance will take place, that Lord Jesus, that you allow us to have it in peace and in love. I thank you. In Jesus' name I pray.
Thank you, Reverend, for that powerful prayer. We now use this time to welcome Mr. Samuel M.X. Dean, Assistant Director of
Very pleased to be here today once more in the presence of her greatness. Although I've been labeled a troublemaker to some, I'm so honored that through my flaws, the VP has seen something great in me and bestowed a light preferment of Assistant Director for the Physically Impaired of the People's Service Program. A few hours ago, I was called by our Lostria ED and told that the privilege has been bestowed upon me to do the welcome remark of this auspicious program. As is customary to do, I acknowledge and pay my respect to the custodian of the disabled. For without her, I wouldn't have come this far. I will also, in this public manner, like to appreciate the disabled for agreeing to allow me to serve them officially. This meeting is paramount to promise made by Our Excellency to always be in our vanguard and champion our cause. This meeting is a testimony to that. We say, Madam VP, welcome to Liberia. We have always had you in prayers when we heard of the turbulent times. We have even started a movement that will put you up there at your rightful place to be able to efficiently and advocate for our cause internationally without hindrance. So in preparation for that, we have had a slew of protests because we got to find out that there was a little procedural error in the appointment of the head of the National Commission on Disabilities. And we grieve in prayers that the President will listen to us and give the procedure its rightful place that it deserves, which is to turn over the vetting to you as a custodian of the disabled. So we were also thinking, you know, and prepping ourselves that one of these days we'll be able to go to the U.S. Embassy with a peaceful protest so that they can please give you your rightful place to go and advocate on our behalf so that we can be able to live a life that will be very satisfactory and on par with our non-disabled counterparts. We weren't going to tell you that we're going to make it a surprise, but we just decided that we're going to just inform you. So on behalf of the Group of 77 and all the disabled here present, we'd like to welcome you to Liberia, and we are so happy that we see you healthy and all smiles and identifying with us once more. We'd also like to thank you for the ration, and we'd also like to express that the disabled have been impatient, because you promised them by April, you know, you will help them to get some jobs, and we know that you have already started that, as evidence in, you know, my preferment and a slew of other people here who were once jobless. So without further ado, we'd like to say many more welcome, Aoma, and welcome to Liberia. We are children, the disabled. We welcome you. Thank you.
Amen.
Well, thank you, Mr. Dean. In that time, your introductions as an all-in-one, right? Advocacy plus something else. All right. Yeah. Okay, right now we will call on Mr. Alvin Jacks Cannon, the Assistant Director for the Judiciary Affairs. Hold on, man, too short. Yeah. Let us put our hands together for our coolies and all the community that are sitting right there. You guys should be the first to be honored and be introduced for being here today. And with that, I would like to turn to the high table and recognize the presence of our illustrious Excellency Vice President of Liberia, Joel Howard Taylor. And then our group of directors, Estella, Mrs. Wifa, Alvin Jas, and Sam, and our platform guests. Having said that, once again, I heard from Sam the last time he spoke, nothing without us, nothing about us without us, right? Yes. Nothing about us without us, right? Yes. Okay. The fact that we are in the community as members of disabled people, we should be ahead of our disabled things. But notwithstanding, we have to have people with further, you know, abilities to be part of our society. Meaning what we need: inclusive society, inclusive environment. That's why we have the Vice President who is totally able, working with us, and other people working with us. So let's apply for those that are not physically challenged working with us. Okay, we hear about pro-poor. The real pro-poor is what we're seeing today. With the presence of the Vice President from the onset, she said, let me go to the most challenged, marginalized, and downtrodden. And that way you see real poor people, right? Yes. Okay. A lot of you guys said don't go into the street for months because there are no accessible roads with a wheelchair, right? Mm-hmm. Some of you don't even enter buildings because there are no elevator. Hopefully in the next few months, you who have wheelchair may be going to our office because there's a new building being done by, I think, the Chinese, if I'm right. There might be elevators going there, right? So you want to apply for yourself for that? Okay. So, pro-poor is not only on the paper, but in reality, tangible evidence of a presence coming down to us, along with our boss, President Joel, President George Manawia. They're working together to make sure that the pro-poor is ready, implemented to the downtrodden. Having said that, let me just add to what Sam has said. The first ever effort to be talked about was the empowerment of people who are ready to serve within government, within the private sector, with companies, and in the community, meaning disabled people who can show up by writing some letters. As I speak, there's a whole bag full of applications and credentials in her office. She took the first batch, which some of us are on that list, and more to come. So, as we speak, I heard she already recommended some people at different offices, and more to come. So I encourage you guys who have papers and some ideas about job, please write it to her office. She will forward it. And then above all, back in the day, in 1977, Benny Warner was given the authority to pass on an information to his wife. Benny Warner was the vice president of Liberia under Togo. Togo had come from the UK in Britain with an idea about disabled people, which today got the group of 77 to be set up. So from 1977, he saw the idea and passed it on to Benny Warner. Benny Warner passed on to the wife and became a vice president in business. So anything about disability is about the vice president, right? No. Okay. So whoever coming on the ground, be our president George Weah, be the first lady or whoever, will say, oh, vice president, in your history, vice president has been responsible for disability issue. So anything about disability, she get to know about it and she's read the books. So what is happening in our environment right now with somebody being appointed, she took it from the helm, from the top. That's why she said, bring your papers. Eventually, everything will come back on the table and people will know that vice president will be recommending people. I like everybody's effort. The first lady making great effort, the president making great effort. But it has to come back to her and then she will pass it back to them and the recommendations will be done. And like Sam said, yes, appropriate recommendations will be made. And some of us who can adequately represent you guys on paper, in mouth, in reality, and in action will be appointed, right?
Yes.
So God gave the VP all the prayer to take a position in government in helping the disabled people because what? Our first place she went was the downtrodden, which is the real purple, right? Yes. I'm a blind man sitting here today. I'm not lying to you. I can do a lot like any other person. As I speak, the ED has the first project, the draft. Getting a job is a title. Getting a job is a title. It's a 1 month long program to empower every 10 blind men with requisite skills. The project is not $2,200 US. In 10 months, we'll get 10 blind people ready to go to work. We have the skills. And somebody here will help us out. We'll do the training right in the building. That's what we have. It's in an embryonic stage. And she's going to get it. That's how some of us are ready for the work. So let's welcome and introduce everybody here today as being a part. I'm Alvin Jackson. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson, for the splendid remark. For me, I only have one word to describe our mom. She's a mother. She is a true mother. Alright, this time we went to recognize some key personalities in Liberia. We're going to start with the representative of district number 3, Bon County,
and I'm happy today we have begun to see the fruits of. But I want to, in this very special manner, bring you greetings from His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency George Weah, the 24th President of Liberia. He has allowed me to continue to work with a group of 77, and for that I will remain grateful. With the allowance that I have gotten, I know that there are many issues. We started a process of consultations amongst the various groupings, and we still have a few more things to do. After our consultations, we reached out to all of those who have been regular supporters of the group of 77 and people living with disabilities around our country. We had a thank you program. We printed more than 150 certificates to say thank you to those who have helped us. Even God, our Father who is above, He says, when I do something for you, go in the congregation and tell me thank you. And how about us? You know, even worse. Because you will say in your heart that God knows you are happy and no, He said don't do it like that. Because when you stand up in the congregation to say God has done something for me, you encourage somebody who's down in their faith. You encourage somebody who doesn't believe that God is able to do it. That's why He said not for him, because there's nothing we can do to give glory to God. But when you talk among your friends and you discuss how faithful God is, it will help somebody in their faith. And I'm not a pastor and I'm not an evangelist, but I know how far God has taken me. And so every time I get a chance to tell Him thank you, I don't want to be laying down in a casket and wishing that God will give me another day or another hour or another minute. Every day of my life I get up and I say, irrespective of what is happening, thank you, God. Because sometimes things will happen to slow you down, sometimes things will happen to save your life, sometimes things will happen to just make you think. And you might think God trying to harass you. Then later on when you find out the real story, you say, okay, God wanted to save my life here. So I want to encourage you, as I said to you at my first meeting, you are people living with disabilities, but you are not incapacitated.
Yes.
When someone is incapacitated, then you have to go visit Antoinette Tubman Church home, where there are people laying down there for 10, 12, 15 years. They can't hear, they can't see, they can't speak, they can't talk, they can't do anything. When you get discouraged, pass by that way. You will be able to tell God, thank you for your mercies, oh God, because you are not incapacitated. We promise you that we'll do 3 things. That we'll collaborate all of the activities of those who are donating to you, so it can be done on a monthly basis, because you cannot give somebody food January 1st, which is New Year Day, 26th, which is Independence Day, then you say Christmas 3 times. How does the person live? So we said we'll collaborate all of the efforts so that on a monthly basis there will be food here, so that those who are members of the group of 77 will be able to get some rations on a monthly basis so they can get off the street.
Go ahead.
The second promise we made here to you was that we'll begin a process of finding out where our people are. We've asked the director with all of our assistant directors to begin a tour across our country. A mean group will stay here in Montserrado and visit the 17 districts, find out who's where, what kind of disability they have, so we can have our listing. Because one of the sponsors asked me, how many disabled people do you have? And I said, I don't know. If you're asking somebody for help, you must also know what you are dealing with. So I asked her to put in place 4 teams, because we don't have time for one person to go all over the country. They will be divided into 4 teams. Each group will take a section of the country. Everybody will have a week and a half or 2 weeks to go and do the assessment county by county and find out where our people are. So if we are dividing 100 bag of rice, some got to go to Bon County, the disabled people that are waiting for me to extend here and there. Some got to go to Grand Bassa, some got to go to Grand Cruz, some got to go to Grand Chile. So if I know that there are 10 people in Grand Chile, then I know what to do about the Grand Chile situation. So we'll be putting our public service announcement on the radio with the schedule on ERBC, because everybody hears ERBC, so they will know who coming, what time they will be there, so everybody can be available to be registered. That process should begin as early as next week, so that in the next 2 weeks, the final report of how many disabled people can come on here. While we are doing that, we'll also identify people who are able to work. Because we promise that those who are able to work, will find jobs for them. It might take me 3 months, it might take me 6 months, it might take me 1 year, but this is something I'm committed to doing. I will ask all of the agencies of government, even those NGOs that are working around here, to hire people who are able to work. And so we'll get a report from the executive director and her team that will be going out, that we identify those who have degrees that are able to work. So we add that to the Alvin Jacks program for those who are able to work. So when you get your small brush up, small day training, when we send you somewhere, you'll be able to do something positive there. Those who want to go to school, who are also able to do so, will begin to see who we can find to help us support sending our people back to school. You see, Alvin Jazz, I think he has a master's degree if I'm not mistaken. So he could be blind, but he's a master's degree holder. He can talk, he can write, he can influence. So we'll be looking for people who want to go back to school. I still say to you, as I say to regular people, education is the key to poverty. If you go to school and you learn something in your head, somebody can take your job, your house can burn down, God forbid, your family can be taken like Job, but when you got your head, they can't take it from there until you die. That is your greatest asset. And so that those, as they are doing the evaluation, those who are able and would like to go back to school, we'll try to facilitate that so that in the next couple of years, more people will be able to work. Because if you just go to 7th grade, you stop, there's no way I can recommend you for a job now. But at least if you got high school paper, you can read and write properly. If they put you in a warehouse, you can calculate, and you know the things that the people have, and will give me an edge to try to get you decent jobs. The third process was to make sure that this facility, and I told her to please inform the Minister of Education that the school that is here, children need to go to regular schools. They should not be stigmatized and they say, oh, that the children are in a disabled school. It's not a good thing. Then they grow up thinking there's something wrong with them. They should engage the regular citizens in regular school system. Plus, the building we have here is for our people. There's nowhere now for people to stay there. Some of our disabled people living on the beaches in cardboard boxes. And we say we got school in the building where people should be living, especially those who are in destitute situation. So we'll be asking them to remove their school so this building becomes available. It's a small training we got, it's a small way for people to stay. So it can become the home of the group of 77. However, I want to say to you that this is temporary. We are looking for a permanent place where you all will be living, where there will be training facilities and everything right on site, so that those who are there will be capacitated and taken care of properly, so we're not just all moving around. So that promise is something that I'm working on. And so on behalf of our government headed by His Excellency the President George Manewia, I would like to, in this very humble manner, make 2 presentations to the group of 77 this afternoon. The first presentation is 75 bags of rice to be a part of their rationing, so that instead of giving 2-3 cups of rice to somebody that can't even carry them for 2 days, they can see how the ration can become a little bit more. And once we get the idea of where our people are, how many they are, then we'll get around to finding out what can be done to satisfy the needs while we are looking for jobs or school opportunities. I want to thank His Excellency the President, Ambassador George Manewia. Arrangements have also been made through the GSA assignment of rice that came from the Chinese government. A portion of it will be given to the group of 77. I didn't know the amount because I was not able to get in touch with the GSA director, but I will find that out between today and tomorrow so that you will know exactly what the amount is, so that you can know how to distribute it. And so I want to thank the President for thinking of you. Know that as you have raised your issue with him, he's contemplating what to do about it, and we will all continue to work and do what we are doing until that time comes. Sometimes leaders have some difficulties when all of us get on there and people are talking differently, and hard for them to kind of settle all of the issues at the same time. But I want to say to our brothers here that the issues concerning the National Union of Disabled Persons as a government institution with laws that determine how the leadership structure is, I'm sure once the President gets a copy of the entire dossier, he will then take proper counsel and make his decision. Whatever decision he makes, all of us will respect it. He is the head of state. We'll work in the sphere that we have and do what we have to do to make a difference. So I want to ask you that whatever comes out of it, that we accept it, for he is our leader, and then we'll begin to work where we are to make a difference where we are. And so I will be pleased to give a donation of rice, like I said, 75 bags of rice. But more importantly, the group of 77 has to cater to these people across the country. If you take Monserrado said, you say people should stay where they are, and we have to deliver rice to where people are living, which I hope we'll be doing. then we need a vehicle. There are some vehicles that were here that are already broken down. There's a bus that we're barely managing to use. But we had asked the National Lottery to look into providing a vehicle to help with the work, especially with the GSA consignment of rice that the president has given, that they will need to go and deliver to some of the places because everybody will not come here. Those people who are on the beach, I think we have deserted them. We have to carry their food to them there while we look at how we can get them from there. Those who are probably in some of the rural areas in Montserrat that we can get to, we need to go there. I think the group of 77 needs more than one vehicle, but we begin to advocate to others and see how we can arrange to get several vehicles so that people are able to do their work by their assignment. Those who are responsible for the blind should be able to go and have their meetings around the country and see who's doing well. Those who are responsible for those who are physically challenged should be able to engage with those people so they can come back and report to us and say, well, this physically challenged person only needs prosthesis. How can we get it for them? This physically challenged person wants to go to school, they need a wheelchair to resolve it. So we need to be mobile and able to do that. We might not be able to buy everything right now, but you have a firm commitment that I will continue to do what I can to make life a little bit easier. And so it is my distinct honor and pleasure to, on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Liberia, present the keys of the first pickup. It's a brand new pickup. The National Lottery people have put insurance on there and everything. You have to see how you can find fuel. Maybe we can get one of the fuel companies to give you some kind of allowance to help you move around. I will start to look for the second one because I know that people need to be able to go out. But I'm a person who believes that those who are less privileged and that are stranded must get our fullest support. The president's pro-poor agenda, in simple terms, is making Liberia work for Liberians. So that the things that are important for us, the things that are important for the different segments of our population, especially those who are at the lower level, are done to improve their lives. So, Madam Executive Director, it is my pleasure on behalf of His Excellency the President to turn over this vehicle that has been given for the use of the group of 77 as our first initial contribution of a vehicle. We'll try to look for the second one. We hope you will use it properly and allow the work that you have to do to go on. We've received your report of the team that must be going out. We'll try to work with one or two persons to ensure that those people go out as early as possible, so within 2 weeks we have the full support and the full report of where our disabled people are. I also want you to ask Honorable Alvin Jazz to include in his proposal how they will train those who are here now who are able to work, so we get small brush up things done here, so we can prepare them to start to ask how can the few people who are here already be able to work outside, and we'll see how we can fund that particular proposal. Receive the card and the documents for the vehicle that you have just received.
This is our time.
Excellency, Madam Jua, I will tell her is, or what she stand for. But I know what she stand for. There's a reason why I always tell the senior staff that when I'm here, know that what you want is done. It might not be now that you want it, but no matter how long it takes, it will be achieved. I said, because when my boss tell you that she will push your wall to fall, no matter how long it takes her, the wall will fall. Yes. She has stood well all through Central over. We know that it's a pro-poor agenda, but at her level, to always recognize her and come to our level, to sit with us and where we should find us, an applause. Yes. I want us to give a round of applause to the Vice President. I can assure you that as a front runner of the team of the Vice President, President at Group of 77, Group of 77 is going to be a new brand. Group of 77. So when I talk about Group of 77, looking at Group of 77, 10, 15, 20, 30 years back, I start to retrospect in my mind that when a Group of 77 leadership that are taking over all the time, were lacking some knowledge or vision of what was the issue. It's an impediment that the Group of 77 have bear over the year. I begin to dream. I've been traveling through my mind. Then I came back on the drawing board and said to me and my team that as you stand with me here and we see Her Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Chief Nswak Ojua, our Taylor is leading the team. We are going to achieve what I want us to achieve. Because every year, every regime, Group of 77, Group of 77, at the same status, at the same level. What is wrong? What is happening? I can remember some years back, during the interim time, our over Group of 77 for 1 year, 6 months. When the Sunni folk were to use this way to get out. Nobody can come off a day. But I tell you, Madam Vice President, having to be a visionary person, a developmental-oriented person, I can assure you that you're going to have a new Group of 77 in the years to come. All you need for the Jacob community is your support. If you hear something that you understand, come and get information. Do not move to the press. Find out what happened and whether this thing is the right thing. Because one thing I know in our community, because my mother was a disabled person, so I'm part of you. One thing I know in our community, they say, can move like a campfire. And the disabled people can act on it before they come to themselves. So I want us to use our destiny this time as our strength. To ask questions, to investigate, so that we not spoil the good plan and dream and aspiration of the Vice President. Because her plan is good and we are part of our agenda. We are the first on our agenda. Every morning I appear to her house, she asks me, where if I had the office, how the people, how the thing going with the disabled people? At her level, she's not looking for money, she wants to serve. She had won everything that she wanted. She was first lady before, first and senator 2 times. Yeah, first female vice president of the Republic of Liberia and Africa at large. She's looking for nothing. She wants to serve you. To leave from or comfort and come to our level, she wants to serve you. This demonstrates humble spirit. Yes. My vice president, our team member, the Honorable Lieutenant Bonkane Esther Walker, my political brother, of Mariko, representative of District 3, I say thank you. Because we all form part of this thing, and we are the inner core. When you speak of Madam Joy Howard, then you speak into what we are the military force at the front line. So, in order to see a leader succeed, you must see that leader making another leader. Yes. And to know that the Vice President is a true leader, you can see him on the core, There's a question, man. For the second day of Bonkade, now a former representative. Yeah. That is the vision of Madam Vice President. Madam Walker, Madam can have your seat. Madam Walker, please, On the mat, to a superintendent of Bonkade, an honorable superintendent of Bonkade. That's an applause for the Vice President. Madam Walker, she has been a political icon. Working on the forefront of the Vice President all the time and seeing the experience to simply to start the affairs of people of disability, I can assure you on this team that we are going to capture whatever you want. With all the support that we need will be given to us by the Vice President and her able President, Honorable George Manuel Weah. We also have the disabled people on his agenda. I want you to know that. The first lady of the Republic of Liberia, I think I know she has been visiting all of the disabled centers, and I know she's going to come to visit all the Losom flight. They are working as a team. They say a teamwork produces the best result. Yes. And because they are a team, they are going to we produce one of the best results in Liberia. I can assure you that we are already arrived. Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. I assure you that the result you want from me, you will get more than that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Director. Honorable Vice President, you're going to get that result fully charged. Fully charged. Can we clap loud? So as this thing is gradually learning now, we call on the Human Resource Officer, Reverend Constantine, for benediction.
Let us pray, please. Amen. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Father, we bless you and we thank you. To you and you alone be all the glory. Thank you for those whom you've given us to be a blessing at this time. We cover their lives with the blood of Jesus and we declare them dangerous in the eyes of the enemy. May you cover them fully, oh God, to accomplish. Now to him who is able to keep us from falling and to present us faultless before his glorious throne. To that one and only wise God, with glory, honor, majesty, and the sins of God shall save the mighty amen. Amen. I would like to...
This is our time. Let's hear it, girls. Oh, this is our time. Oh, woman, this is our time. Oh, woman, this is our time. There is no place to run. So we
Send many thanks and appreciation to the President of the Republic of Liberia, Excellency George Manuel Weah, and his Vice President, Madam Joel Taylor. And I can assure them that I'm going to use the car to steer the affairs of Group of 77 in seeking the welfare of the people of disability, not only limited to Group of 77, but the entire disabled community to whatever that will be done to make sure that their life is better off.
And also we see 75 bag of rice.
The rice is going to be given to the people with disability. In fact, tomorrow the distribution starts. Based on our registration, we have been able to capture some of the members of persons with disability in Monserrato. So tomorrow the Monserrato team will start with the warehouse manager having to be a person with disability, Mr. Morris Whipper. I'm getting the mandate to start with the distribution right away.
Come out to the car a bit. The car, is it going to be a help to you?
They're going to serve the purpose because a new brand car, it's a four-door pickup. I know that the vice president, the president and his vice president have been actually thinking on the people with disability. There's a reason why they were able to see out there to find a car, and not only a car but a new brand pickup to serve the purpose which we want to carry on and execute the administrative duties of the people with disability in a country like Liberia.
Well, today we are very happy to receive the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Group of 77. At this time she took over. This is the third time she has visited the Group of 77. And what we see today, the donation of rights for persons with disability and the vehicle to empower or enable the executive director to do a work within, a wealth accommodation. So we want to extend thanks and appreciation on behalf of the disabled people of the disabled community for the kind gesture. From all indications, our interaction over the last few months indicate to us that there will be something great. And so I'll let call my disabled brother and sister to rally around the vice president so that we can take the Group of 77 from Igbo Street to all parts of Liberia. We think the next few months of the year, the disabled person in Liberia will get to know that indeed there are someone who cares for them so much. So I just want to say a special thank you. God bless you.
Your name is, sir?
My name is James Waisu. Special assistant.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Okay.